answers in the memory. You know, you're going to store in there who knows what, the dimensions of a gable roof or something like that. And so, a simple four-function calculator, you'll be in good shape. Let's move on. Practice problem number 3, if you're working along with me there. Andrea borrowed $6,000 for 1 year and paid $520 interest. What was the interest rate she paid? She borrowed $6,000 for a year, paid $520. What was the interest rate? Well, we've got a circle for this too. And let me show you that. Looks like this, of course. Now, don't be criticizing my circles, okay? I know it's a little, maybe an egg shape there, but you get the idea. With the interest rate circle, the top of the circle is annual interest. That's the amount made if we reference an earlier circle there. It's annual interest. Now let me camp on this a little bit. Some of you, when you learned your interest rate formulas in high school, you learned that there was principal, there was interest, there was rate, and there was time. You learned that there was 4 different components of it. We're only going to work with 3 because we're always working with 1 year annual interest. And the top of the circle in an interest rate circle is always, you get the point? Always, annual interest. The bulk of the problems that people make with, or the bulk of the mistakes that people make with these type of math problems is they don't do annual interest on the top. As long as you remember that, you're going to be in good shape. So annual interest on the top, we're going to put the principal down here. That's, of course, going to be the larger number. And then guess what goes in here is the rate. Okay? So now we know that circle. Let's look at our problem again. Fill in the blanks. Andrea borrowed $6,000 for 1 year. That's the principal. And paid $520 interest. Okay? And what did I say? I said every problem's got to give you 2 parts of the circle, doesn't it? So we've got the principal portion here, $6,000. We've got what? The interest that she paid, what? For the year, $520 is the annual interest. And what's the rule of the circle? Anytime you have 2 parts of the circle done, do the math. What's our circle say? It says 520 divided by $6,000. We'll pull out our handy-dandy simple 4-function calculator, and we'll take 520 divided by 6,000. And our calculator gives me this, 0.08666 forever. If I put a line over the last 6, that means a repeating decimal. So it just goes on forever. But what's the problem asking? Is it asking for 0.08866 or 0.08666? No, it's asking for an interest rate, isn't it? So what's the interest rate? We've had it converted to a percentage, right? So we're going to make it 2 places to the right, and we're probably going to be looking at maybe 8.7%. You'll have to look at the answers and see if the answer says 8.66 or it rounds it up and says 8.7. It's not going to give you both of them, okay? So we looked at the problem. We said the annual interest is 520. The principal is 6,000. We did the division, got a decimal, converted to a rate. We should be able to look down at our A, B, C, and D and pick out the correct answer for that. As we said, first read the problem. If 1 month's interest is $50 on a 5-year straight interest-only note, and the interest rate on the note is 10% per year, what is the amount of the loan? So we're paying 1 month at $50, 5 years straight interest-only note, and the interest rate is 10%. Okay, so we've identified this what? As an interest rate problem. So let's take a look at that. I think I'll use this same circle here. If you'll let me, I'll erase some of this stuff. Okay. Remember, we said the problem has to give you 2 parts of the circle in order to complete it. So it's got to give us 2 parts. Well, it gave us an interest rate, right? 10%, so we can put 10% in here. And then what did it tell us? it said at 1 month's interest is $50. So we can put $50 in the top here. And I can hear you. You're saying, Tom, this is annual interest, not 1 month's interest. And you're exactly right. So what are we going to do with that $50? That's right. Take it times 12. So our annual interest on this is going to be $600. And the problem gives us, what's it asking for? What's the amount of the loan? Okay? The rule of the circle is this. If we've got 2 parts of the circle done, do the math. So we're going to take 600 divided by 10%. Now, if you've got just an old-fashioned 4-function calculator, a lot of times that percent key is actually a function key. And you're going to have to try this on your calculator to see that it works. But what you can do is you can punch in $600, hit divided by 10, and then click on the percent key, and your calculator, if this works correctly, should give you $6,000 as our principal amount. So we took $600, hit the division key on your calculator, divided by 10, and then hit the percent key, as long as it's a function key, and you should get the answer $600, or $6,000, excuse me. And that's the answer that we're looking for as far as problem number 4 is concerned. Okay? Let's go on to number 5. Number 5 says this. A duplex brings in $600 per month per unit. Gail and Kevin are interested in buying the property as an investment and need an investment rate, a capitalization rate or cap rate, and we know what that is, of a 10% return. What should they pay for the property if they want that kind of return? So again, the duplex brings in $600 per month per unit, and they're looking for a 10% return. How much should they pay for it? That's the problem we're trying to solve here. Okay? Well, we can put that into a circle. I'm going to start over here. The cap rate circle looks like this. Don't get lazy, draw all the parts. The top of the circle is going to be net operating income, or the profit that we make from this property. We've already looked at NOI, net operating income. The bottom left portion of the circle is going to be the value of the property. And of course, we're going to have the cap rate over here. Now, the problem's got to give us 2 portions of the circle in order to do it, so let's go find them. Rates, real easy, isn't it? And of course, remember the rule of thumb, 1 rate per circle. So we're only going to have 1 circle, and we're going to put 10% in as our cap rate. Now, though, we've got to look at determining the NOI, because the question is asking, what should we pay for the duplex, or what's the value of the duplex? Well, if you remember our chart on NOI, it looks like this. We said that we would take the gross scheduled income minus the credit or vacancy loss. Now, did this problem have a credit loss in it or vacancy? And the answer is no, so we didn't have to worry about it. To give us our effective gross, subtract our operating expenses, and then we get our net operating income. Okay? Let's click back to this. Well, we don't have any expenses here, but we do have income. The duplex brings in $600 per month per unit. So what does that say? We don't have any expenses, so we're just going to have to calculate on pure income here. So we have $600, but it's $600 per unit per month. So $600 times 2 units times 12 months should give us our NOI on this particular problem. Because again, there's no vacancy or credit loss, there's no expenses. So we just have to take the numbers that we're working with. So 600 times 2 is going to be $1,200. $1,200 times 12 months, check my math on this, but I think that's 14.4, isn't it? So we know the NOI on this is 14.4. The circle tells you to do what? Divide 14.4, hit the division sign, divided by 10. If your percent key is a function key, hit that, and you should get an answer of $144,000. And so the question asked is, what should Gail and Kevin pay for the property? What should they pay for the duplex? The answer is going to be $144,000. Okay? Let's go on.